Hello and thank you for joining us today for our webinar. My name is Henry Suarez and I'm one of the product managers here at 3dCart. Today we're going to go over how to build your online store with 3dCart. Now with many shopping cart services out there, merchants are sometimes overwhelmed with all of the different tools and settings available to them. They'll log into their account and not really know where to go to begin setting everything up. So today I'll be going over some of the tools built into the 3dCart service that allow you to get your store up and running as quickly as possible. First, I'll show you how to select a theme for your store, as well as a couple of basic design elements for your store. Then I'll show you a couple of different ways we have of adding products to your store, followed by adding payment methods so that you can collect payment on your store. And last but not least, we'll go over the shipping methods that you can add to your store so that you can take your products and ship it to your customers. So with that being said, let's look at the design tools. It's usually the more daunting portion for people, so we're going to just jump right into it. Give me a moment here while I log into our test store. And here we go. This is our test account here. When you first log into your 3dCart online store manager, this is basically the page you'll see. There's a couple of navigation elements at the very top. But 90 to 95% of your navigation is going to be done through this section here, the left-hand bar here. Now I want to call the attention to this button here. It's called View Store, and when you click on it, what it does is it'll open up a separate tab, a separate browser window, if you will, with your storefront, just as your customers would see it. However, since you're actually logged into the store manager, you'll have access to this bar at the bottom. We call this the Quick Design Edit bar, and it allows you to make changes to your site directly from the storefront. So let's go over some of the tools available to you here. The first icon on the Quick Design bar, it looks sort of like a artist palette and brush, if you will. When you click on it, that gives you the design editor. This is where you'll be able to select a different theme for your site, as well as handle some of the design elements of it. For example, let's say you as a merchant want to have a store that fills the whole width of the window. Well, you can simply select this 100% screen width here, and as you can see, it'll update your site in real time. I personally like the tabled look, so let's go back to 900 pixels there. You could also remove certain elements from your site. For example, let's say you don't want to show your categories or your browse by price. Well, these display options here will control those. For example, if we want to get rid of categories, uncheck it, categories goes away. You'll notice here we have new releases. Well, let's say you don't want to show new releases. Well, uncheck it and it's gone. Real easy to make on-the-fly changes to your site. Now, all 3dCart stores will have a left banner and a right banner, and each banner has different elements within them. We also have this drag and drop mode, which you can turn on. And when you turn it on, what it will do is it'll give you these little manipulator icons, basically, on the different elements of the left and right banner. And from that point, you can simply click and drag it over. And once you turn it off, your settings are committed to change. Let's go ahead and set that back for our next webinar. Here we go. And the last thing I want to show in the design editor section is where you can select your different themes. Now with 3dCart, we have up to 50 different, actually more than 50 different themes that you can choose from. This particular theme is the default one that comes with all 3dCart accounts. But if you click on Get More Templates, the 3dCart interface will open up a separate tab. And this is the back end of the 3dCart Online Store Manager, specifically to the Themes and Styles section where you would select your themes. Now when you go to this page, you'll notice there's two tabs. There's Available Templates and there's Install Templates. The reason we have the two here is because of all the templates that we have on 3dCart, they're 100% customizable by you as the merchant. So when you install one, it goes into your install templates. That way, if you edit something and it doesn't go well or something gets messed up, you could always revert back to the available templates and reset all your changes. Now, as I mentioned a second ago, we have up to, actually it's over 50 different templates. I believe it's 53 the last time I counted. We have a template for just about any kind of business out there. This one's designed for video games, wedding rings, things of that nature. And selecting a template is simply a matter of clicking on the template's install button. Let's go ahead and find a template here real quick that we'll be comfortable with. All right, let's go ahead and select this one here for our webinar here. Now, once you install the template, the 3dCart interface is going to say, well, I've downloaded the template. Would you like me to install it? Which basically means, do you want me to apply it? I'm going to say yes to that, or OK in this case. And once we close everything out, there's our brand new template. Now, let's go over that one more time so you can see how to change them. We're going to go into the design editor, click on Get More Templates, and we're just simply going to select our template from the template pool. I think we'll use this one instead. Once you click on OK, you close all the windows, and your new template is applied. Real easy to do. You don't have to hire a webmaster to create your site or anything like that. Now, next to the artist palette and brush that I mentioned earlier, there's a second icon, and it kind of looks like two capital letter A's. When you click on that, that's going to be your content editor. You can use this tool to further edit your home page, or you can add individual contact pages to your site. I'm going to show you how you can use this area to specify a logo for your site. You'll notice that under Advanced Tools, there's a header and footer section. All 3dCart stores will have a header and a footer, which is all the way down here at the bottom. Well, with the content editor, you can start editing those areas individually. If you click on header and footer, you'll see where your global header is located, where the footer is, as well as the left and right banner. Now, for the store itself, the logo and the slogan are usually they're going to be on the left-hand corner of the header section. So let's show you where the logo would normally go. In the header and footer section, you can specify your store name, which, as you can see here, it says webinar. Well, it's up here, and sample slogan, which is right underneath that. Or, if you'd like, you can specify an actual image for your logo. I've already uploaded one here, so let's show you how that would work out. Select that logo, and once we click on Save Changes and close everything out, there's our new logo, complete and ready to use. Once again, that's the second icon, which is the content editor. Now, earlier you'll notice that there was a store name and a store slogan. Unfortunately, once you add a logo to it, it kind of overwrites these two options here. So in the case where you wanted, let's say you wanted to have a store slogan as well as your logo, there's a couple of different options you can use. One option would be to either create an image that is your logo and the slogan all rolled into one and specify the image, or you can use HTML editing, coding basically, to specify your image and a slogan. Well, the way to do that is directly beneath this area where you add your store logo, you'll notice there's a global header section. Now in this area you can either type in straight text or HTML coding. But if you don't know HTML, there's nothing to worry about because you have access to this. It's called the WYSIWYG editor. WYSIWYG is an old computer acronym. It stands for what you see is what you get. And when you click on the WYSIWYG mode, what it does is it'll take that interface where you would normally input text and it converts it into a sort of a word processing type of environment where you can add formatted text. So what we're going to do here is we're going to create a logo just like we did earlier. However, we're going to add text to it as well. So if you click on the Insert Image button here, we're going to specify our image real quick. Oops. Let's remove that. Click on the Browse button here. There's our image. And let's insert it. So as you can see, there's our image right now, and directly beneath it, we're going to add our slogan. Now let's format this text real quick. And let's add a different color so that it matches our logo. Now, the really neat thing about the WYSIWYG mode is that once I turn it off, just by clicking on it, it's going to show me all the actual HTML that was created for it. So it's also kind of a way of learning some basic HTML, if you will. Let's go ahead and remove the old logo that we specified earlier. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to click on the Enable checkbox for the global header. Basically, we're telling 3dCart, forget what's up here. We're going to use this section now. Click on Save Changes. Close everything out. And there's our logo, complete with our HTML formatted slogan. So as you can see, it's real easy to make basic design changes. You don't have to go out of your way and hire a web designer or anything like that. It's all really built into the store. So now I'm going to show you how to add some products to your store. There's a couple of different ways of doing that. I'm going to go through the easy and more advanced methods in just a moment here. The first one I want to point out is, again, using the quick design bar at the bottom, the very last icon. It kind of looks like a t-shirt. When you click on that, that takes you to the product editor. Now, in this case, you could add categories or add products to your store. For the purposes of this webinar, we're going to create a store that sells cellular phones. I just got a new shipment of Nokias, so I'm going to create a category specifically for Nokia. Bear with me here. There's our category, and when I click on Add Category, the 3dCart store interface is going to take me directly to that category. Then in the quick editor, it's going to take me to a section of the editor where I can further refine this category. I could either add a subcategory or edit it somehow, or I can just simply start adding product to it. Let's go ahead and jump right into the product aspect of it. Now, the new phone that I got for Nokia is called a Nokia E5 smartphone. It's their latest and greatest phone. Retails for about $260, and my SKU number is very simple. Let's click on Add Product. And again, the store is going to take me directly to the product so that I can continue further editing it. Now, you'll notice that the product itself has availability as back order. That's simply because I have not specified any inventory for it. The 3dCart Quick Editor is going to take me directly to the Quick Editor for the product. Let's close this window out of the way. And you'll notice I can specify my stock number for it. Let's say I got 80 units of it. I'm going to click on Apply Changes, and you'll notice that the availability changes to In Stock. From this point, I can supply an image for the product and further refine the product as necessary. Let's go ahead and add a quick image here real quick. If I click on Change Image, it's going to take me to the Image Manager section, which basically gives me two options. I could either select an image that I already uploaded, or I can select an image from my computer, basically browse to my desktop, find the image, etc., etc. For the purposes of our webinar today, I've already uploaded these images, so let's go ahead and select an image I already uploaded. And here's our Nokia. All right, when you specify an image for a product, 3dCart is going to take the large version of the image, the straight raw size of the image, and it's going to give you the option of shrinking down that image for use as a thumbnail. The thumbnail will show up during category listings and whatnot. Now, if you have your own thumbnail images that you'd like to specify, you can just simply uncheck that box. By default, it's always going to have it checked. So let's go ahead and update the product. And here's our product with our image, our pricing information, and Add to Cart buttons already built in. Now, by default, 3dCart has a feature where it's called 3D Zoom. If your customers hover their mouse over the image, it shows them a zoomed up version of the image. It's basically the large raw file of your image. This is an option you can turn on or off as necessary. A lot of our merchants seem to like it, so we kind of kept it. Also, if the image is clicked on, it opens up a pop-out window. All right, so this is just one way of adding a product to your store. It's through the storefront itself, and it comes in handy if you get a quick shipment of product and you just absolutely need to get it on the store right away. I'm going to show you a second way of adding products, which is through the 3dCart Online Store Manager. Bear with me a moment here. All right, if you go to Products, View and Edit, you'll also be able to manually enter a product through this interface just by simply clicking on the Add New button. It essentially takes you to the same type of page as you would see when adding a new product or editing an existing one. So in the preservation of time, let's go ahead and keep editing that product that we just added so that you can see what it looks like. Now, when you're adding a new product this way or editing an existing product, you will have access to all of these tabs for the individual product. The first one is the Information tab, and this is just the basic info section for the product, the main display of the product, if you will. Here you can specify the ID and the SKU number for the product, the name of it, a short description. Let's just say Nokia's next generation smartphone. You can specify a manufacturer or distributor, as well as categories for the product. You could also edit your pricing information for the product. One thing I like to mention to our merchants is this box right here, the cost field. The cost is simply what the product costs you as a merchant. Your customers will never see this. It's simply there for reporting purposes. For example, there's a specific report that shows you sales versus profit, and it uses this cost field. So let's say, for argument's sake, this particular phone costs me $200. I basically make $60 per phone. Now, beneath the pricing area, you'll see the shipping options, where I can either have a markup for the phone, and I can also specify my dimensions for the product so that the calculation for shipping gets involved. I could also specify my inventory options, as well as an extended description for the product. Now, earlier you saw me enter a short description for the product right up here. Well, the extended description is something that'll show up on the main product page, and it allows you to really sell the product. For example, you can list all the features of the product. You can have a huge formatted paragraph describing the product, anything you wish for the product. It's just more of an extended description of what the product does or how it works. This particular field will take either straight text or formatted text, and as you can see, it also has a WYSIWYG mode. Now, to save time, I've already got some HTML that I formatted previously for this section, so let's copy that and paste it in here. And I'm going to turn on WYSIWYG mode so you can see that what it will look like. There it is. It's basically just quick facts about the product. It's all set up in a table with bulleted points. Now, beneath the extended description section, you'll also see the keyword section. Now, keywords are what the store will use for searches within the store. But not only that, it's also for searches from Google and Yahoo and all the different search engines. The only requirement for keywords is that they be separated by commas. Well, not just the keywords, but the phrases as well. So if you have multiple words in a phrase, you don't have to separate them individually with a comma. It's the phrase itself. To show you what I mean, I already got some saved keywords here. Let's go ahead and add those. So as you can see, it's Nokia E5, comma. That's one phrase. The next phrase, comma. Just separate them with a comma, and they'll be added as keywords for your product. Let's go ahead and click Save and have a look at our product to see how it's coming along. Another little tip that I like to give our merchants is when you're editing a product in this manner, You'll notice the catalog ID for the product as well as a link directly to the product. When you click on it, it takes you to the storefront version of the product. This comes in very, very handy if you have products that are within subcategories within their own subcategories and several levels deep, rather than having to navigate your own store just to find the product. You just click on this link and it'll open up the product directly for you. So here's our product with our image, our pricing information, add to cart buttons, and our extended description that we added earlier. Real easy to do. And that's all done within the information tab of the product. The next tab I want to go over is the images tab. This is where we'll be able to specify additional images for the product. Now earlier I uploaded an image or selected an image and it created the thumbnail. So here's our main image, here's our thumbnail. Shows us where those are residing on the site. Now let's say I had additional images that I wanted to show. Well, it's basically the same type of setup. I click on Browse and I select the image. In this case, I've already uploaded it. And I have a rear view of the image so that my customers can see the camera that comes with the product. Let's go ahead and click Update there. And let's save this. Now, let's take a look at the product real quick. And here we have our product with our two images. When you click on the additional image, it kind of morphs into the other image. And this one as well has the 3D zoom capability. And again, the 3D zoom can be turned off if you wish. Now, you'll notice that these images themselves have edit buttons. Well, 3dCart integrated recently with a product called Picnic. Picnic is a web-based photo editing suite. The way it normally works is you open up an account with Picnic. It's as I mentioned, it's a free service. They do have paid-for service that have more editing capabilities, but the basic free service is actually well-rounded. But anyway, the way it works is you create an account with Picnic, you take your images and you upload them to Picnic, and you use their interface to edit the image, crop it, do whatever you need to do with it, and then you save the image on your profile with Picnic. From that point on, you could either download the image and apply it to whatever you need to. In this case, in the case of 3dCart, we actually integrated through API with Picnic, where by clicking on the edit button, it does all of that legwork for you. It's going to take the image and it's going to log into your account with Picnic with the image. Now, Picnic was recently purchased by Google, so they, during their status section, they'll have funny little sayings here. These are holiday-based ones. And it loads up your picture and it gives you access to edit the picture. From this point, I could resize the picture, I could crop it, I can rotate the image. Let's play around with the contrast and exposure of it a little bit here. There you go, let's lighten the image a bit. I'm going to click on OK for the image, and once I click on this export button, it's going to send the picture right back to my 3dCart store. There we go, there's our new image. And again, that's all tied into your 3dCart store and your Picnic account. Another thing you could add with your product is videos. You'll notice that there is a button labeled Browse YouTube. Well, what it does is when you click on it, it's going to take the image or the name of the product, and it's going to search YouTube for any videos that come up with that name. So let's go ahead and click on Browse YouTube. And as you can see, just by the fact that my product has Nokia E5 on it, it's going to show me videos specific to it. This comes in really handy if you happen to sell a, This comes in very handy if you happen to sell a product that has commercials for it. You can show demos of the product. You can show a commercial, a viral commercial for the product. On the other hand, let's say it's a product that you create on your own. Well, you can upload your own video of you maybe creating the product or a series of the products, maybe describing how the products are used. Well, you can use this Browse YouTube as well to browse to it. And once you select the video, it's going to specify the video link itself as well as all of the embed code for the video. Let's go ahead and click Save on this so you can see what it's looking like so far. Let's refresh. All right, so here's our new image, slightly edited, our pricing information, our product description, and there's our video where they can simply click play and watch. Again, that's the Images tab. The next tab I want to show is the Options tab. Now, the Options tab allows you to specify different options for the product. For example, if you're selling t-shirts, it could be different sizes, different colors. In the case of this particular product, I have 3 different colors of the product. I have black, white, and a special color that this phone comes in. So let's go ahead and add an option here for the product. Now, when you click on the first Add Option button, it's going to allow you to specify a label for the option. What kind of option is it? In our case, it is color selections. And the type of selection it is going to be a radio button. Let's go ahead and click on Add. Once you click on Add to the main option label, then you can add your option sets, in this case, the individual colors. So let's click on Add Option. First color is going to be black. Let's click Add. And second option is going to be white. And then my third option is a special edition metallic blue that this phone happens to come in. Now, this is a very special limited edition, and it's actually $20 more than the base price. So for value, I'm going to specify a 20. And we're going to click on Add. So let's take a look at our product now and see how it's coming along. So here we have our product, our images, our pricing, and our color selections. And I want you to notice that the metallic blue we specified was going to be $20 more. The store itself, by default, is going to tell your customers, by the way, this option is an additional price. You can turn this option on or off if necessary. I personally like it because it's a great way of keeping your customers informed. That way there's no surprises at the end during checkout. The really neat thing about this, though, is if I select black or white, you'll notice that the price does not change. However, if I select metallic blue, price updates to $280. Again, trying to keep everybody as informed as possible so there's no surprises at the final checkout screen. Another trick you can do with the option selections is rather than using radio buttons, you could actually use images for the color selections. Let's go ahead and change this real quick. I'm going to change the type from radio to drop image just to show you how this works. It's actually a neat little feature that 3dCart has. Let's get rid of the black one. I believe there's one that's copper. I have different coloring images and silver. All right, so we're specifying the different colors here, but since we're selecting a drop image type option, this allows us to select an image when it comes to actually selecting the option itself. I just happen to have these images preloaded, so let's go ahead and show you what this looks like. Here's the silver and the metallic blue. Let's go ahead and update all of these. Now let's take a look at our product. There we go. Now these images are a little bit on the large size. If I had more time I would have made them smaller, but as you can see when I select the individual options, it updates the colors for me. So it's a neat little feature that 3dCart has built into it. And once again, that's within the Options tab. The next tab I want to go over is the Related tab. Here's where I'll be able to specify cross-selling of products, as well as upselling products. It's basically a way of cross-merchandising your products and have people informed as to other products that I sell that are in relation to this one. For example, in the cell phone case, I have memory cards for the phone. I have two specific ones. I can select those as related products, so I'm going to click on Add. And I have a 4 gigabyte and an 8 gigabyte memory card that I sell with this product. And these are considered related items. Let's go ahead and save that. And then upselling, I also have a product that doesn't necessarily go with this solely with this product. Let's say I also have a Bluetooth ear set or earpiece. Well, I can consider that a upsell product, so we're going to select that. And let's save the changes on this. Now let's take a look at our product. So here's our product, our pricing, our color information, our description, our video, and now we have an accessories and related items section. So it's a great way of cross-merchandising your customers, or your products for your customers. Just like when you go to a retail store and at the end of the aisle you'll have an end cap that has related items, you're basically doing the same thing on your 3dCart store. So these are the basic product tabs that you'll have available to you. There are some other tabs. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time in the webinar to go over all of them, but feel free to explore your 3dCart store and see what all these different ones do. This is just the second way of adding a product, though, to your store. There's also a third way, which is very, very popular for merchants who sell hundreds, if not thousands, of products. As you can see, adding a product manually this way can be somewhat tedious, especially if you have a few hundred products to go by. Well, we also have an export feature built into 3dCart that allows you to mass import products. The way that works is if you go to Products and all the way at the bottom, Export Import. This will take you to the Product Export Import section. What I normally suggest to merchants when they're starting out is take one product and add it manually, just like I did, and then fill it all the way to the brim with all the different features, all the bells and whistles that you can find in the interface. The reason I say that is because what you can do is you can export your products, and what it'll do is it creates a spreadsheet file, which is a comma-separated values file, a CSV file. And it's a basic spreadsheet that has the product name and different columns. By pre-populating a product with all the bells and whistles, you're basically seeing what all those individual columns are referring to. It's a great technique that our merchants use to kind of learn what they all do. So, just create one product, fill it all the way to the brim, and export your data so you can see what the columns are designated for. Then use that same spreadsheet and fill out the rest of the spreadsheet and simply browse to it and import it, and it does everything for you. You'll still have to upload the images separately, but it's a great way of quickly updating your store with the products. Now, this is just a basic overview of how to add the products. Obviously, we can't go into every nook and cranny of the 3dCart store, but if you ever get stuck in an area, I want to point out pretty much every page on 3dCart will have these little information bubbles. And basically what they do is it'll give you a quick synopsis of what those fields are looking for. It comes in really handy when you're adding a product manually. I'll show you real quick. Since there are so many fields that you can fill out, each of these will basically tell you what those fields are looking for. So if you ever get stuck, look for these. And another help tool that we have is this Need Help button. When you click on it, what it does is it takes you to a page that displays links to some of our videos, tutorials, and guides that we have for 3dCart over the years, that we've created over the years. The really neat thing about this, though, is that it's specific to whatever page you happen to be viewing at the time. For example, in this case, I was looking at a product. Well, it's showing me videos and tutorial links to products. However, if I was in the promotions area and I clicked on Need Help, it would show me promotion type articles and guides. So this is a big lifesaver, and in fact, most of our technical support agents start their training with these Need Help tutorials. So it's a great way of keeping informed. All right, so we just went over the main ways of adding your products. The next thing we want to go over is creating payment methods for your store. Well, if you go to Settings and Payment, you'll see two different options. There's online methods and there's offline methods. To quickly explain them, offline methods are for cases where you don't need to run a credit card that very moment, but you're still allowing the purchase to go through. For example, something like a check or a money order, where you don't collect the money right away, but you're at least collecting the order. The basic concept is you're waiting for the check to come in the mail, and then you could ship the product once you get it. That would be the use of an offline method. The online methods are the more popular ones for obvious reasons. These are where the transaction takes place during the actual visit to the store. Now, with online methods, there are two types. There are redirect methods and there are gateway methods. A redirect method is simply something like PayPal or Google Checkout, and they're called redirect methods because what happens is your customer is at your store, they add a product to their cart, and at the checkout screen they're redirected from your store to PayPal where they finish their payment. And then after they're done at PayPal or Google Checkout, whichever it is, they're redirected back to your store to complete the order. The other method is called a gateway method. These are completely invisible. Let me show you real quick how to add a quick product or a quick payment method. When you first go into your site, it's going to give you the option of either accepting only credit cards or accepting credit cards and PayPal. Click on Next, and it's going to give you different listings here for PayPal standard and whatnot. All right. Now, adding a payment method is just a simple matter of clicking Add New and selecting the payment method itself. Now, we have close, if not over, 100 different payment methods here, and they all have different variations. You can select link point, authorized net, any one that you integrate with. They all have different pros and cons that you as a merchant would decide which one to use. Once you add it, it'll be onto your store. Now, as I mentioned, the two main redirect methods are PayPal and Google Checkout. For the most part, our customers and our merchants prefer to use the online gateway version, which is simply everything stays in your store. The customer adds product to their cart, they go to checkout, they pay for it, and they never leave your store. So those are by far the more popular. Once you add your payment method, the next thing to go over is adding shipping methods. Basically, you have to have a way of shipping the products to your customers and also charge them for those shipping rates. So if you go to Settings and Shipping, oops, there we go. There's two menus that you'll go through. There's shipping settings and shipping methods. Now, shipping settings comes into play because we integrate with the 5 major shipping carriers: UPS, USPS, Canada Post, FedEx, and DHL. Now, by integration, what we do is we allow you to input your login credentials for those individual carriers. And the way it works is this will come into play for real-time shipping calculation. By real-time, I mean when a customer gets to your store and they add a product to their cart and they go through the whole checkout method, it's going to take the address of where the product is shipping from. It's going to take into account the address where the product is shipping to, as well as the weight specifications that you designate for the product. And it's going to go to your account with, in this case, let's say UPS, and it's going to calculate how much the shipping is going to cost. That way you can provide your customers with a direct quote saying it will cost this much, pay me this much, I'll send it to you. So if you're affiliated with any of these carriers, this is where you'll be able to enter your credentials. The second menu that you'll normally go through is under Settings, Shipping, and Shipping Methods. This is where you'll actually specify your individual methods. The first thing you'll want to do is make sure this real-time shipping information here reflects your address, or at least where the products are being shipped from, because this is part of the formulation. This is the origin point. Adding a shipping method is simple as add new, and you'll be able to specify your different shipping methods. Now, as you can see, we have a shipping method for just about all the main carriers. These are all the real-time ones, the ones that have USPS, UPS, and etc. And then at the very, very bottom, you'll see 4 custom methods. Now, these custom methods are for merchants who want to provide a flat rate type shipping. Rather than dealing with the individual carriers and their real-time shipping, you can use the custom methods to provide a flat rate. There's 4 that we have. We have custom by quantity, custom by value, custom by weight, and custom by zip. To give you a quick explanation of how they work, custom by quantity will take the total amount of products that are in the order, and you would specify ranges for them. For example, 0 to 10 products, I would charge this much. 11 through 20 products, I would charge that much. You would specify all your individual ranges so that it's a flat rate depending on how many items are in the order. Custom by value is similar, except it's by the total value of the product, of the order. In this case, you would set a range, let's say 0 to $10, I would charge this much. 11 through $20, I would charge this much. Custom by weight, same basic concept, but it's the weight of the total order. 0 to 10 pounds, I charge this much. 11 to 20 pounds, I charge that much. Again, you can specify your individual ranges however you see fit. I'm personally just using 0 to 10 to simplify matters. The last one is custom by zip. This one's interesting because what it does is, rather than ranges, what you're specifying for it is individual zip codes that the flat rate will apply to. A lot of our merchants end up using this last one in a very interesting manner. They use it to offer some sort of free shipping if you're within my immediate area type situation, or maybe $5 shipping if you're in my area. Basically what they do is they'll specify maybe 3 or 4 different zip codes in their immediate vicinity, and when an order comes in, they basically just charge the customer $5 or whatever gas money just to basically drive it to themselves. So, you know, it's another interesting little workaround some of our merchants have come along with. So again, these are just basic overviews where our point is to try to get you started in actually adding products to your store and building it from the ground up. You know, it can be very overwhelming when you first log into the 3dCart interface and you see all of these different menus. However, you know, you're never alone. We still have our tech support department here 24/7 to help you out. We also have all these different links and KB articles that you can go over. So, you know, give it a shot, and hopefully you'll be on your way soon enough to add products. As you can see, it's real easy to do. So again, thanks for listening to my presentation. Tune in for our next upcoming webinar, where we'll discuss some of the tools available to you to help you promote your site. Basically, we're going to show you some of the tools that are in the store itself that help you get that traffic that everybody's looking for. Basically, you can't have customers unless they walk into the door, so we're going to show you on the next one. So thanks for listening, and we'll hear from you soon. Bye-bye.